Being mindful of our spine, crown to the sky, shoulders down. Let's take a look to the right and then look to the left. Inhale, look right. Exhale, look left. One more time, inhaling right. And exhaling left. And coming back to center. Let's tip the chin down to chest. And chin up to sky. Down to chest. Exhale. Inhaling up to sky. Exhaling, coming down. And chin to sky. And then coming to a nice neutral position. Let's do some eagle arms. So we'll take our right elbow and place it right in front of our solar plexus, fingertips to sky. Taking the left arm, bringing it underneath the right arm, wrapping around and feeling the contact between left fingertips and right palm. And today we're going to have a little fun with this. Sometimes we usually just kind of stay stationary, but let's experiment a little bit with elevating the fingertips and elbows up and lowering down. Raising them up and feeling the opening, I'm sure, in the back of between your shoulder blades, coming down. If you want to synchronize inhale with the elevation and exhale with the lowering, you can. At your own pace, as feels nice for you. And of course, if you want to stay stationary too, you can. Just nice to experiment with a little bit of movement and see how your body reacts to that. Very good. And then coming out of that pose, let's reach behind, clasping our hands behind our back, straightening the arms, kind of as a counter pose really to what we've just done with eagle arms, and bringing the elbows and arms close together, bringing the fists downward towards the floor, opening up the collarbones, feeling the triceps engaged, feeling nice and strong in the arms, solar plexus open to the world. Maybe a bit of a smile, that helps too. And breathing. I'm going to lower my chin down a little bit to get a little extra stretch in the back of the neck. You can do that too if you'd like. 2 for 1 special. And then coming back up. Let's place the right hand beside us, left arm up and over. Oh, oof, I feel that today. Let's float it down. Left hand grounded, right hand up and over. Trying to keep long in the spine as you reach over to the left. Floating right down, lifting left arm up and over. Floating the left down, bringing the right up and over. And then one more time on the left side, bringing it up and over. And floating it down. Let's take the right arm, bring it up, pat ourselves on the back, in between our shoulder blades, just by our neck, bringing the left arm up and fingertips towards, or maybe interlacing, at least at the fingertip part, certainly not hand to hand, that would be pretty intense. But bringing fingertips close to one another or touching. Gomukhasana arms, so right elbow up to sky. Breathing, nice open chest in this position. And if you're happy, you can stay here. If you'd like a little bit more, you can lead with the heart and come over to the level of comfort without toppling over. Keeping the hips grounded. And lifting back up. And releasing the arms. Let's do it on the other side. So left hand up. And hand reaching mid, back, lower neck. Bringing that right arm up and behind. Bringing fingertips close to or touching one another, or maybe just linking a little bit at the fingertips. And breathing, enjoying the feeling of nice open chest, nice open solar plexus, slight back bend, which is nice. And if you want, you can lead with the heart and come over the legs to your level of comfort, where you're still feeling rooted and stable in the sitting bones. Nice and long through the spine. Coming back up. Then taking the left arm, bringing it across your body, then using your right arm as a bracket. So 90 degrees, fingertips to sky on the right side, and pulling the right arm back, stretching out the left shoulder and resisting the pull with the left shoulder. So bringing resistance and pulling back a little bit with the left. Breathing into that stretch across the shoulder. Releasing it down. Doing the same on the other side. So right arm across. Using the left arm as a brace or a bracket, 90-degree angle, fingertips to the sky, supporting that right arm. As you pull back with the left, pulling back with the right shoulder to counteract that. And have a nice stretch. Then letting it go. And taking the hands and bringing them behind your back in a prayer position. So the prayer position for you might be just sort of fingertips. It might be fingertips lightly touching a little bit more up the fingers. Might be full palms touching. I'm not quite full palms touching, but I'm close. So, wherever you're at is great, as long as it's challenging but not uncomfortable. And breathing into reverse prayer position. Enjoying the nice stretch in the shoulder area, and you probably feel some stuff going on in your arms. Should never feel painful. Let's relax and let that go. Shake it out a little if you need. And one last pose in the seated position. Let's bring the right arm out in front, and fingertips to the floor, but palm facing you. And then take the left hand and gently push the right palm towards you for a right forearm stretch. And then flipping the palm so that the palm is facing away from you, but the fingertips down. Now let's take the left hand and pull back gently on the right fingertips. The arm is parallel to the floor, or parallel to the flourish. And breathing into the stretch in your wrist. Let's let that go. And bring the left arm out in front, parallel to the floor, fingertips down, left palm towards you. Bringing the right hand in and pushing on the palm to bring the palm slightly towards you to stretch out that left forearm. Breathing into the stretch, never too much. Let's flip that palm away from you, fingertips down, and again, taking the right hand and pulling back on those fingertips, stretching out the wrist, breathing as you go. And relax, and we'll move towards tabletop. Let's do that. Okay, tabletop position. So being mindful of our alignment, as always, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's start with a side plank, knee down. So we're going to kickstand the right calf out about 45 degrees, placing the weight on our right hand, coming up, keeping the left foot planted but parallel to the back of the mat, and lifting left fingertips to sky. If you want, you can stay here, or you can engage your abs and lift that left foot up, keeping it flexed. And if you want to have a little bit more fun, you can bend the knee in, grab your foot, your left foot, with your left hand, and kick into the hand a little bit. Sometimes looking down helps with stability if that feels better for you. Releasing the foot, fingertips to sky, and then coming back down into tabletop. Now kickstanding the left calf out to the side and coming on to the left hand for support. Right foot is parallel to the back of the mat, and right fingertips to sky, arm extended to the sky. Nice and broad across that chest, feeling the full expanse of your chest and your arms. Let's engage the abs and elevate that right foot. Looking down to the floor if we need some extra stability. That feels good. If you want, you can bend that right heel towards right glute and grab it with your right hand. And maybe you'll feel a little stretch in the front of your right thigh and a little bit of a back bend, which is nice. And then releasing the foot and releasing the hand to sky. And coming back down to all fours. Let's take the right foot and place it off to the side so that the toes are pointing away from you, heel is close to you, and basically halfway, it's oriented about halfway down your left calf. It's not right beside it, it's comfortably beside you on the right, but it's in line with mid left calf. Now putting the weight onto your left hand, let's place our right hand onto the inner right thigh and lean into that to give ourselves a right inner thigh stretch. Breathing into the stretch. And coming back to tabletop. Now moving the left foot off to the sides, the toes are facing away from you, the heel is pointed and aligned with mid right calf. Getting your weight onto the right hand, and then taking that left hand and pushing into the left inner thigh. I also feel a bit of a stretch going on in my left hip. You might feel that too, which is kind of nice. Coming back to tabletop. And making sure that knees are under hips. Let's walk the hands forward to puppy dog pose. So arms nice and straight and strong out in front. Hands, fingertips towards the front of the mat. Arms nice and strong. You may just be conscious of your hip and knee alignment and try to adjust hips over knees if you've slipped forward or back. Probably feel a nice stretch in the underarm area, enjoying the strength of your arms. Breathing. Walking back to tabletop. And taking the left hand, lifting it up, fingertips to sky, coming back down and across the chest, palm facing upwards. Thread the needle so you can take the left arm and bring it nice and long in front of you towards the top of your mat, being conscious of the position of your hips over your knees. Feeling a nice stretch in the right shoulder. Your head is looking towards the left. Making sure your neck is long. So if you need to lift up your head and place it towards the top of the mat, you can. You don't want to compress your neck. If you're happy here, you can stay here. If you'd like to do something a little different, you could take your left arm, wrap it around your back, and bring your fingertips towards your right thigh. So that gives you a little fun stretch in the left shoulder. And breathe. And unwrapping the left hand, planting it as you come back up to tabletop. Now let's do the same on the other side. I had a scraggly hair hanging there. It was bothering me. I had to get rid of that. Anyway, bringing the left arm up, fingertips to sky, and bringing it across the chest, resting it down on the floor, shoulder down on the floor, left palm facing up. Nice long neck, looking towards the right, being mindful of hips over knees. Right arm extended forward. You can stay here and breathe if you want, or if you'd like to bring the right arm behind you and wrap it around to touch your left thigh, you can. And breathing into the pose. Then unwinding, right hand to mat, back into tabletop. Let's do a little cat and cow. So dropping the belly down, lifting the tailbone, lifting the chest, opening the collarbones. And then rounding the spine, tucking the pelvis, tucking the chin towards the chest, pushing into the hands. And then dropping the belly, moving into cow. Maybe feeling a nice stretch in the belly area. Feels kind of good. And rounding up that spine, channeling your black Halloween cat. Feeling, there we go, and one more cow. Lifting that tailbone, pushing into the hands, feeling nice and stable. And then rounding that spine out to cat. And then coming to a neutral spine, let's move our spine in a different direction by doing a lateral C stretch. So moving shoulder towards hip. Keeping, not sinking into the pose by looking over the right shoulder as we do that. Helps prevent us from collapsing down. I was guilty of that almost a moment ago. Passing through center and C-shape left. Pushing into the hands, feeling nice and strong in our structure. Passing through center, and do a few rounds on your own in your own time. As slow or as briskly as you enjoy it. And one more on each side. And then coming to center. Let's do a little calf stretch. So bringing the right toes to the mat, balls of the feet to the mat, lengthening the leg, pushing into the right heel. Feeling that fabulous stretch in the right calf. Ooh. That's good. And relaxing it down. Let's do it on the other side. Left ball of the feet down, pushing into the heel, lengthening that leg. You can pulse a little bit in this pose if that makes you happy, or just stay stationary. That's cool too. And then coming back to tabletop. Let's bring the left leg forward, heel to mat, half Hanuman. Being mindful of our hips. Our hips should be parallel and square to the front of the mat. You may come up on your fingertips in this pose. You may feel better on your fists, as is comfortable for you. But flexing the foot, if you need to have a micro bend or a little bit more in the knee, that's totally okay. Then lengthening the spine, and if you'd like to come over the leg, you can do that and breathe into the stretch in the back of your leg. Then leading with the heart and coming back up, half Hanuman. Let's move it forward. So pushing hips forward, moving into a crescent lunge. Lifting the hands up to the sky, fingertips to sky, arms parallel, coming out of the shoulders. Probably feel a nice lengthening of the front left hip flexor. And then let's, for fun, bring our hands behind us. Clasp the hands behind our glutes. Arms nice and straight and strong. Opening up that chest, opening up the collarbones. Challenging our balance just a little bit. And then bringing hands parallel to the sky, fingertips to sky. Floating hands down to frame the foot. Tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee into a low lunge. And then hopping the back foot forward and slightly off to the left side. Coming up to standing, hips square to the front of the mat. The front right knee is bent, knee over heel. And bringing arms up to high prayer, facing forward. This is warrior one. And you can play with your foot positioning a little bit. If you want some more stability, you can heel toe to the right for a wider stance. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's bring the left foot parallel to the back of the mat and check to see if our right heel is parallel to the arch of the left back foot. Bending the right knee, arms out into a T, nice and straight and strong, like someone is pulling on either arm, fingertips out. And warrior two, looking over the right hand, shoulders down. Making sure you can see your right big toe. If you can't, move your knee off to the right a little bit. And breathe and feel nice and strong in warrior two. Now pivoting on the right front heel, so that your toes are parallel, pointing in the same direction to the side of the mat. Let's feel nice and long in our torso. Bring the hands up to a high prayer overhead, bringing shoulders down, away from our ears, but still nice and long arms. Star pose. And then bringing our feet hip width apart and coming into Tadasana, mountain pose, feeling strong and stable in our grounded feet. If you lift up your toes, you should still feel pretty stable with the other 4 points of your feet. Nice long spine, shoulder blades together. And now let's lift up the arms about 45 degrees out from our shoulder blades and sit down into our hips for chair pose. You may come down a little, you may come down a lot, you may try coming down a little more if you can. Comfortably challenged is the place to be. If you want, you can bring your hands to prayer position at your heart center. And then you could take your left elbow and hook it on the outside of the right knee for a twisted chair, gazing over the right shoulder. Making sure our knees stay parallel, not collapsing in. Come back to center. And then take the right elbow and hook it on the outer left knee, using it as leverage as you look over your left shoulder. Coming back to center and bringing it up to Tadasana. Separating the feet wider than hip width apart, maybe like 3 feet, a meter-ish, a little more than a meter apart. Back to star, hands in high prayer overhead. Taking a moment to enjoy star pose. Pivoting that right foot towards the front of the mat, checking that heel is aligned with left arch, bending the right knee back into warrior 2. And then coming down and framing the foot with your hands, back into low lunge, and back to tabletop. Other side now, let's do half Hanuman on the left. So bringing that left leg forward towards the front of the mat, heel to the mat, foot flex, toes to the sky, or to the sky-ish. And nice long spine. If you'd like, you can lower down over that leg. And breathe into the stretch in the back of your leg. Coming back up, leading with the heart. Keep the spine nice and long. Let's bring the front foot flat down, keeping the left knee down, and bringing the arms up overhead into crescent lunge. And this time, let's bring our arms out to angel wings and bring it elbows to chest center, hands, palms together. Bringing them out to angel wings, arms together, heart center. And one more time, angel wing. And palms, arms together. Let's frame the foot with the hands and tuck the back toes and push up into low lunge. Hopping that right foot forward and at a 45-degree angle just a little bit, coming up. Hips square to the front of the mat. Bending that right knee over right heel, or pardon me, left knee over left heel. Arms up into high prayer. Warrior 1. Lengthening up with the fingertips towards the sky. Let's pivot back heel so its foot's parallel to the back of the mat. Keeping the knee bent, Arms out into a T, broad across the chest. Arms coming out of the shoulders, hands not falling down or up, but nice and parallel to the shoulders. Making sure you can see that front big toe. And then pivoting that front heel so that feet are parallel to one another, facing the side of the mat. Arms up, high prayer, star pose. And then this time for the star pose, I'm going to turn around so you can see me better, but you stay as you are. And pivot on your heels so that your toes are pointing towards the corners of your mat. And then let's bring hands to solar plexus in a prayer position. It's probably a nice place to start. And lower down into the hips for goddess pose. Consciously keeping our knees back. If it helps you, you can actually put your hands by your knees, sort of in your inner thigh area to kind of support keeping things back. And sinking down into your hips. Trying to keep crown to sky. And breathing. It's important to breathe. Coming down a little more if you can. If you can't, that's cool. And then coming back up to standing. Pivoting the feet so that they're parallel. I'm going to switch my position so I'm back like you. Back to star. Hands to high prayer. Let's pivot the left foot towards the front of the mat. Warrior two. Arms out in a T, looking over your left fingertips. Making sure you can see left big toe. And then windmilling the hands down to frame the front foot. Low lunge. And coming back to tabletop. Yeah, let's be good to ourselves. Let's separate the knees, mat width apart. Come down onto the heels and bring the arms forward to child's pose. Just for a minute. And breathe. Feeling the length of your arms, length of your underarms, length of your back. Coming back onto your sitting bones with your heels with your sitting bones. Coming back to tabletop. And then bringing the hands forward just a little bit. We're going to move into lizard. So bringing the right foot and placing it on the outer side, just beside on the outer side of your right hand. And you can stay here, or you can come down to forearms. And you can stay here, or you can tuck your back toe and lift your back knee. You'll probably feel some action in your abs here, which is good. And breathe and try to relax in this pose. Try to relax your face. Try to relax any gripping in your hands, any tension in your arms. Dropping the knee down if you lifted it up. Coming back up to your hands if you went down to your forearms. And then from here you can bend your back leg and capture your foot with your right hand, thumb facing up on the right hand. And you don't have to do this bend if you don't want to, but you can also play with it a little bit. So if it's a little too much with you leaning forward, just lean back a little bit. And then it's not so intense. And of course, if you want a little more intensity, you can pull your heel more towards your glute or shift forward a little bit more. Gently dropping that foot down. and coming back to tabletop. Let's shift those hands forward again, just a little bit. And bring left foot to the outside of left hand. And enjoy how that feels for a moment. If you wish, coming down to your forearms, relaxing your head. And then if you wish further still, tucking that back toe and lifting that back leg. And feeling nice and strong in your right leg. Relaxing your face. Relaxing your hands. Lowering the knee down. Coming back up onto your hands if that's where you went. And then, if you like, reaching back with the left arm, bending that right knee, foot towards the glute for a stretch of your front right thigh. Whew, I feel this side more. Breathing into it. I'll follow my own advice here. I can back off a little bit if it's too much. Focus on my breathing too. And maybe it's a little too much initially, and maybe you can, challenge yourself by moving forward a little bit more as you get used to it, but always listen to how you're feeling. And then gently lowering that back foot, coming back to tabletop. And coming down to a seat. Nice cross-legged seat. Making any adjustments if you need to. There we go. Okay, so now let's bring the right knee and point it towards the top center of the front of the mat. And then bringing your left leg and stacking it on top so knees are stacked. Or stacked-ish. Gomukhasana legs. And breathing into the stretch in our outer hips. Minding our spinal alignment, so just checking that spine is coming out of pelvis area, that you're not sort of leaning forward too much, but you're nicely aligned, crown to the sky. And now you can plant your left foot it'll be just beside your right knee. And then plant your left hand behind. Take your left leg as leverage. And elongating the spine on the inhale. Twist to the left. Using the leg as leverage, but not too much, not too hard. Be gentle with yourself here. And elongating on the inhale and twisting on the exhale. Looking over that left shoulder. Coming back to center. Let's switch legs. So left leg goes on the bottom, knee pointing to mid-top of the mat. Right knee stacked on top. Relaxing into the feeling of Gomukhasana with probably a fairly intense stretch in your outer thigh. Breathing through, easing off if it's too much. And then planting the foot, the right foot, and bringing the right hand behind you, elongating the left arm and then hooking it onto the upper right knee as leverage, and then look right. Elongating on the inhale, crown to sky, and then twisting a little bit more on the exhale. looking over that right shoulder. And coming back to center. Let's bring the left shin and place it parallel to the top of the mat. Right shin over top, so we're stacking heels on knee and knee on heel. Fire log pose. You can stay here with your spine nice long and crowned to the sky. Or if you'd like a little bit more, you can lead with the heart and come over the legs. A little, or if you're just on your hand fingertips, you can come down to your palms, you can come down to your forearms, or a little bit further if that feels good. Keeping your feet flexed. And try to relax into the pose, into the stretch in your outer hips. And leading with the heart and coming back up. And switching legs. So right leg on the bottom this time, shin parallel to front of the mat. Left shin over top, knees and heels stacked, feet flexed, long spine crowned to the sky. Maybe a smile on the face if it feels naturally to do it. And you can stay here or leading with the heart, coming over your legs just a little or a lot as is comfortable for you. And breathing into any sensation in your hips. Never ignoring pain, always easing off, but there's a little bit of sensation and it's challenging in a good way, then you can breathe through that. Leading with the heart and coming back up. Let's extend the legs out in front, sitting on top of our sitting bones, feeling them rooted into the mat. Feet flexed, toes to the ceiling, elongating through the spine, hinging at the hips, leading with the heart and coming over the legs. You may reach, your hands may reach your upper legs, your lower legs, your feet, wherever it is today is good. And if you're able to inch yourself forward just a little more, that's lovely. And if not, that's great too. And try to relax your neck down, soften into the pose. Leading with the heart, coming back up. Let's bend the knees, feet flat on the mat, knees to sky, and lay back, supine, knees to sky. We'll take a second here and just enjoy being here. And then lifting up the hips, rolling our shoulders back a little bit, clasping hands underneath your body with your arms nice and long and strong. And breathing into this bridge pose. Rolling your shoulders back a little bit more if you can, just to open up across the shoulder blades. Pardon me, collarbones, not shoulder blades. Shoulder blades will be more together. And then lowering down. Let's take the knees and hug them into our chest. And give ourselves a little massage by rotating the knees together in one direction. I'm rotating mine clockwise. Doesn't really matter if you want yours clockwise or counterclockwise, as long as it's in the same direction. And then slowly moving the other direction. I'm just enjoying the way that feels on your lower back. It is nice. And gently coming to a stop. Keeping the knees hugged in, let's drape them to the left. Arms in a goalpost or out in a T as you enjoy. And then breathe. Relax into this reclined twist. If you want to lower your knees a little bit, if that's more comfortable, you can. If you want to raise them up a little bit more towards your arms, you can. Just adjusting to your level of comfort. And then knees back into chest. Let's do the same on the other side. So draping knees over to the right. Arms in a T or in goalpost. Either is great. Just trying to relax our body into the floor. I'm reminding myself of this too. I'm feeling a little tension like I'm gripping. There's no need. The floor will support us. And then coming back to center, give yourself a nice hug. You deserve it. You're awesome. Be rocking back and forth a little if you like, if that makes you happy. And relaxing down into Shavasana. So nice long spine. Tucking your shoulder blades in a little bit to open up your chest a bit. Palms to the sky. Arms beside you, but just slightly away from your body. Legs slightly apart, feet relaxed to either side. The tip of your tongue just behind the roof of your mouth where your teeth are. Relaxing your face, relaxing your shoulders. Maybe lowering them down a little bit if they're a little too close to your ears. Relaxing through your belly, relaxing your glutes, relaxing your legs all the way down to your toes. And we started today with the mantra of I am creative and resourceful when faced with challenges. And I really believe that you are and that we all are. And sometimes relaxing our very busy, chattery minds, doing things like meditation, doing things like yoga can help unleash our creativity and resourcefulness. So, if after today's class you want to just enjoy the feeling of, yeah, I'm awesome, I'm resourceful and creative, and put a smile on your face and bring that into your evening, that's great and well-deserved. And if there is something on your mind that you're dealing with, a challenge, maybe taking a few minutes afterward and just seeing if there's things you can explore, avenues that you haven't thought of, something different you can do, a different angle you can take, someone else who can help you. You just never know what you'll come up with when your mind's a little more quiet than normal. And with that, let's bring our feet to the mat, knees to the sky. Rolling over to one side, using hands and arms as pillows. Taking a breath here before we move into our seated position.